Hey there, internet friends. Trevor Starkey here with another episode of What I Feel Like Fridays. Talking a little bit laid back this week. Today I celebrated 3 years of employment with my current job. I'm a database manager for the Arizona Community Foundation. I don't talk about it too much in here because it's not really relevant to kind of the broader pop culture-y kind of world that I enjoy kind of spending time in. But it is a job I got 3 years ago, July 7th, 2014. It was the Monday after a 3-day 4th of July weekend. And I've talked about it a little bit in the past, I think, that it was a big step up career-wise for me, specifically in terms of pay. And so I kind of have a little bit of a history of treating myself when with this job. And the most notable instance is when I, a few months in, decided to go ahead and treat myself to a trip up to Vegas for the very first PlayStation experience, buying tickets and making plans to go and do that just a few months into the job because I had a lot more crazy disposable income that I could do such a thing. And today, on my 3-year anniversary, and finding out this week that I also got a nice unexpected raise. Well, I was expecting a raise because they do it kind of every year around this time for the whole organization. People get kind of adjustments and whatnot. But I got a way larger adjustment than I was anticipating. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and treat myself again today. So I went to this place near me called Flashback Games, and it's basically a retro/used game shop. I discovered it a couple years ago, and I like to kind of swing by every now and then. It's maybe a mile from my house or something like that. It's nice to just kind of pop in and look through, piece through the old games. And so today, just on a whim, I was like, yeah, I'm going to treat myself to something in there. I don't know what it's going to be. You know, maybe I'll buy an Atari to kind of add to my collection or something like that. Or maybe I'll find a sealed copy of some favorite game of mine from the past that I want to go ahead and treat myself to. What I ended up picking up, much smaller in comparison, but it's a fun little kind of treat for me. I picked up Theme Park on the PlayStation. And now, why this is fun for me, I love this game on the PlayStation. It was one of the few non-JRPG games that I kind of invested a lot of time in. I was a big fan of the Bullfrog games, both Theme Park and Theme Hospital, from that era. But why this jumped out at me as the thing I was going to treat myself to today, a little under a year ago when I went to PAX West, it was probably about a year-ish ago now, in terms of when kind of this was set in motion, but my friend and industry personality Brittany Brombacher at Blonde Nerd made some kind of tweet about how she didn't have Theme Park, and she makes a big point to go to yard sales and garage sales and stuff and just kind of scour and pick up games that she's a big collector. And so but this was one of the games that she had loved growing up, but it has kind of eluded her. And I was like, I have the game. I'm not super huge collecting. I was back here in this apartment, so I was like, I also don't have room for all this kind of stuff. So I was like, I'm going to go to PAX West in a month or two or whenever, so I will bring her my copy of Theme Park and give it to her to add to her collection. And so PAX West, I saw her at the Kind of Funny party and handed it off to her, and we visited and caught up, and yeah, it was my little gift to her and addition to her collection. And so when I saw it there on one of the shelves in a display case, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and get that back into my collection. I gave it to her because she couldn't find it. I've now been able to find it, so I'll go ahead and add it back into my collection. So I picked it up. It cost me $8. You know, far more than, you know, I'm probably never gonna play it or anything, but it's nice to have it back in my collection. And it has kind of sentimental value because of that kind of connection with Brittany. So yeah, I treated myself. It's nice to do every now and then. Not everything has to be kind of, as I touched on in, I think, one of my first What I Feel Like Friday videos, not everything has to be about investing in yourself. You can just kind of blow some money on some fun stuff every now and then. And yeah, that's what I did today to celebrate 3 years of gainful employment that has afforded me incredible opportunities by the fortunate salary I make, as well as the freedom and the encouragement to take time off and take personal time and go and do fun things like covering video game events and all that stuff. So yeah, 3 years. It's almost the longest I've ever been employed at a single place. I think I've got like a month or two to go until I beat what my former record was in Sam's Club, my very first actual like paid job. I was there for like 3 years and a month. So if I make it a little bit longer at ACF here, I will have surpassed my own personal record. And so yeah, that's what I feel like Friday. That's what I felt like talking about today. Treating yourself. Do it responsibly, but treat yourself every now and then. It's good for the soul. Let me know what kind of things you've treated yourself on in the past, and as always, I've been your host, Trevor Starkey from TrevorTrove.com. You can follow me at SnarkyStarkey on Twitter, and until next time from here at the Trove, treasure your friends and treat yourself.